Well, this episode of NTV is coming to a close, but before we go, we have a special just for you. Mother's Day is just around the corner, and we have a few individuals who are going to tell us what they got their moms. So check this out.
I have so many things planned for Mother's Day, but what I always love doing is taking part in the Vishnu Mandir Hindu Temple Cultural Show, where we dance and sing, and it's all dedicated to our mothers, and especially my mom, who I love very much. Mothers make the family, and for those fathers or anyone who acts the role as a mother, we give great thanks to you, because without the great support, we wouldn't be who we are as individuals. And I always love going shopping for my mom. Anything that makes her eyes sparkle, I will get her. She loves elephants, she loves fairies, which are some of my favorites too. And we just try to make her happy, make her smile, but we always remember that Mother's Day is not just one day. It's every day that we see our mom, or we think about her, or we remember things that we learned from our mothers. And it's just a great time to celebrate and appreciate what you have, even what you don't have. Just know that because of our mothers, we're here, and we're blessed to see another day.
My mom loves sunflowers, so I'll probably get her a bouquet of sunflowers and probably some kind of sweet chocolate maybe. I know that kind of sounds cliche, but she loves chocolate. So, I mean, whatever I get my mom probably would never compare to how much she means to me.
Well, my mother's a very hardworking woman. She deserves the best. So I plan on getting her a day in the spa, something to, for her to relax. Just trying to get her everything she deserves.
I plan on giving my mother whatever she deserves, whatever she wants, because she's truly the best. So whatever her heart desires.
Well, obviously, you always got to get her flowers. I think that's pretty much a standard. But I get her whatever she tells me to. I think that's what I do, because she deserves it.
Okay, and what did you do for her last year?
Last year, let's see. I know she was in town. I think we went out to lunch, and I got her flowers, so that was nice. She's from a few hours away, so she just likes to see me.
So tell me, what do you plan to do for your mom on Mother's Day?
Well, usually my mom, she's really traditional. We're a Nigerian family, so usually we do pretty much the same thing every year. My dad usually forgets it is Mother's Day, so me and my brother and my sister like to do something nice. We go out the night before, get my mom a card, usually 2 cards. We all sign one, and then we sign my dad's card, put it under my mom's pillow, say it's from my dad. I usually get my mom some roses, and then we usually go out to dinner as a family, usually somewhere in New York, either a hibachi restaurant or something like that. That's usually how we do it on Mother's Day.
We do breakfast. After the breakfast in the morning, we go for shopping in the afternoon, trying to get her manicure, pedicure. And then I take her to dinner in the evening, just to give her a special Mother's Day, something special that day.
Last year, I got my mom some flowers and a lovely card, big card, for Mother's Day. This year, I'm going to take her out to dinner, and maybe even more.
So why is your mom special?
She's special to me because she's the #1 person in my life, and she brought me into this world, and like she said, she could take me out.
So why do you think Mother's Day is so important?
Well, because mothers, at least I know my mom, works very, very hard to put a roof over our heads, me and my brother, feed us, clothe us. She doesn't do that too much anymore now that I have a job. I kind of buy things for myself, but she's worked very hard over these 19 or 20 years, and I think she probably deserves more than just one day. She deserves a whole year or lifetime.
Okay, so why is your mom special to you?
Because first of all, she's the one that gave me birth. She gave birth to me, and she's been with me through thick and thin. I mean, I was a bad kid growing up. She stuck with me. She beat the crap out of me to get me to be a good kid, both in school, out of school, and baseball teams and everything. So that's why I love her so much.
So everybody's going to have a great Mother's Day, and I wish you a happy Mother's Day as well. That wraps it up for this edition of NTV. We'll be back soon with a new episode, but until then, have a great day. Christina Maselli from the Edgewater section of the Bronx turned a newfound hobby into her own money-making operation. After discovering that she had a niche for designing cakes, she decided to create her own cake and catering company that she calls Cake by Christina.
My first cake was for my daughter's first birthday. It was a ladybug. And from there, I just kind of wanted to keep going with it. It was fun to make, and everybody liked it, and they said, well, when is the next cake? And, you know, it just went from there.
Cake by Christina is a business that Christina runs all by herself from the inside of her home. Although she does admit that she gets help from neighbors and family, she takes on 90% of the work herself, and in return, collects 100% of the revenue.
I do have help sometimes, and I also have a friend that she would help me deliver. She would also come and help me make little flowers, make, you know, just little pieces. So, yeah, I've had help before, but it's usually just me. I can make simpler roses.
Baking cakes has not only allowed Christina to make a few extra dollars, but has also allowed her to get in touch with her artistic side. She has turned several concepts, such as city bridges and cartoon figures, into edible creations.
I've done a safari theme where I make little sugar animals and I, you know, display them on a cake. So I like to make scenery too, and I've actually done a couple of city cakes. I did Fifth Avenue, I did Times Square, where I paint individual pieces and I'll prop them around, you know, a board, and it'll look like a city. So
Cake by Christina has been in existence for about 2 years and has generated a buzz from hundreds of clients throughout the tri-state area. The increase in demand for her cakes has kept Christina pretty busy. One of the creations that she is working on at the moment is a cake for Kimberly Sepp's 14th birthday party. The cake will be designed as a 3-layer velvet cake shaped in the form of a Juicy Couture perfume bottle. Christina talks to us about the process that it takes to make cakes such as this one.
the first step, of course, is baking the actual cake itself. So I usually do that about 12 hours before I'm going to start working with the cake to give it time to cool off.
Okay.
Because if it's still too warm, it'll soften and the whole thing would just fall apart.
Christina feels that having a home business can be a great experience, but it can also be a costly one as well. The price of buying supplies such as fondant, which is an essential ingredient in most of her cakes, varies from cake to cake and can put a hole in her wallet. Another challenge that affects Christina's home business is the constant juggling of her work and family. Christina says that her 3-year-old daughter, Alexandra, is one of the priorities that she has to consider while she focuses on her company.
It's difficult because you have to mix, your home life with what you're doing at the moment. Like, I'll have my daughter at home and have to do something with her and then go back to the cake, put a load of laundry in, go back to the cake, cook dinner, go back to the cake. It's just hard to keep it separate, basically, business and home life.
Admitting that there are challenges to having her own in-home business, Christina recommends those that can handle the risks of having their own business should definitely give it a shot. In this tough economic climate, she thinks that it could be the best way to earn a living.
From home, it's much easier. You're not paying rent on, a property. I'm not paying any staff right now. It's different than if I actually picked up and, took it to an actual building and try to start it from there. I think that would be more difficult in these times. But from home, I think there's much less risk, and that's why I've been, doing so well with this. And if you can try and have a business from home, I'd say go for it.
Christina put her heart into that Juicy Couture velvet cake. Now it's time to see the end result of all her hard work at Kimberly Sepp's 14th birthday party.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kimberly. Happy birthday to you.
It tastes really good. Tastes like vanilla, and I like vanilla. So yeah.
It's really good. It has good flavoring.
In the midst of all the excitement, Kimberly Sepp found some time to tell us what she thought about her birthday cake.
It was really, really pretty, and
It's like my favorite perfume, so I was really happy that I got a cake that resembled what I like. And it was delicious. Like, the fondant on it was so good, and the cake is so moist, and it was really good.
The joy of designing and baking cakes will always be Christina's favorite pastime, but she doesn't think that she will take her home business to the next level. As a long-term goal, she does want to get a bachelor's degree in creative writing and possibly go into teaching. However, if there's a great opportunity for Cake by Christina to expand, she just might reconsider.
It'd be cool to try and open up something, but right now I'm going towards actually my education certification and, you know, all of that. So that's really what I'm planning for the future.
Okay.
And I don't know, if something happens, if someone comes along saying, hey, I want to invest in your business, if something like that happens, maybe I'll consider it.
If you would like a custom-made cake of your own, you can visit the Cake by Christina website at cakebychristina.webs.com. I'm Nicole Ashley, and this has been your NTV First Glance. Thank you for tuning in to NTV. If you're just tuning in right now, that was a DOE meeting that was held last month at Brooklyn Tech. This winter has been pretty brutal. Check out what these individuals had to say as we hit the streets. On February 3rd, I decided to go out to Fordham Road in the Bronx and find out some of the experiences and reactions that people have had to this past Arctic blast. It didn't surprise me that a handful of people had much to say. So tell me, what do you think about this weather today?
It's crazy. I mean, today is nice. It's a beautiful day today.
So what do you think about this weather out here? Is it really cold? What do you think?
It's ridiculous. It's freezing. I'm done and over it. I can't wait for the summer to come by.
Name one experience that you've had this winter. Have you fell on any ice? Have you almost broke your neck?
I was trying to get the bus, and the ice was right there. Didn't see it, and I slid on it and fell. Nobody was around, so I had to get up by myself and go. So I'm done with this weather.
It's actually the snowiest, sleetiest that I can remember, and I'm almost a half a century old. So I've seen quite a few winters, and I'm very surprised at the school closings because when I was a kid, 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, it was no school. So we've even had days where we've had 6 inches and all that ice the other day. School would have been closed, but I guess things are different. But you know what? I am just grateful for any kind of day.
After a total of 3 snowstorms this winter, Fordham Road was completely covered with mountains of snow and unbreakable ice. Even with these slippery conditions outside, businesses continue to get out there and sell merchandise. So I have a gentleman out here who's been out here for almost 10 hours. So talk to us about that. Isn't it cold?
It's been freezing out here.
Okay,
you know?
so what's the worst experience that you've had in this entire winter?
Trying to keep cold.
Trying to keep warm.
Trying to keep warm.
Have you felt on any ice or?
Look at all this ice out here. All this weather out here has been storming like 5 times already this month. It's crazy. Like, this weather's crazy.
Fordham Road looked rough, but so did several other neighborhoods in the Bronx. There were cars smothered in snow just a few days ago alongside the Bruckner Expressway. A tourist from Maryland said that his hometown was also hit pretty hard, but he managed to make do.
I've been snowboarding like every weekend now because there has been so much snow. I mean, this is the reason I came to New York, because of all the snow. We usually don't get that much snow in Maryland, but there's been even more snow in Maryland since I've been here. I've been here for like 4 years now. So finally it's starting to snow more here.
Even with temperatures ranging from the mid-20s to lower 30s, some people thought it was summertime outside. One guy came out in this weather with shorts on. This made me wonder, what were people doing to stay warm?
Stay home. You know, days like this, it's not, you know, as long as you got whatever you got, at your house, you know, make sure that when weathers like this come, you got everything at home that you need.
So I'm standing on Grand Concourse and Fordham Road, and I have two people who are going to tell me what they think about this cold weather. So, sir, tell me, what do you think about the weather?
I think right now, I think it's all right. It's been kind of crazy here lately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ice. You know, but right now it's all right. It's not that bad.
Okay. And what about you, miss?
I think it's pretty cold today.
So what's been your worst experience this whole winter?
The snow. I'm tired of the snow.
Have you fell on any ice?
Yes, 3 times in one day.
Oh, wow. What about you?
No.
You didn't fall on any ice?
I don't fall. I'm serious, y'all. I don't fall. She made me fall, you know, but I ain't fall.
So how you stayed warm?
Layers.
How have you been staying warm?
Obviously, I cocoon. I don't play with the cold. I have surrendered to Mother Nature a long time ago.
Okay, so how do you stay warm?
Just bundle up, I guess. Stay inside as much as you can.
From the stories that you've seen today, you can tell it was definitely a cold winter. Remember, you can only watch stories like these on NTV, so make sure you keep watching. Have you ever thought about starting your own in-home business? Well, this intriguing woman turned a delectable hobby into a money-making operation. On this edition of NTV, more drama escalated last month in the fight to save closing schools. Boy, this winter was cold. Find out what residents had to say about last winter's Arctic blast. And cake shaped like perfume bottles. We'll introduce you to a special lady who makes these tasty treats right from home. So keep watching because NTV starts right now. Welcome to another exciting episode of NTV, the program that provides you with news and information on what's going on in your own backyard. I'm your host, Nicole Ashley. On our last episode of NTV, we gave you an extended look at the school closing situation and how this will affect your children. Well, we'd like to conclude that episode with a final policy discussion meeting that was held at Brooklyn Tech last month. Students and parents of Kennedy High School, Jamaica High School, and many other public high schools throughout the 5 boroughs blew whistles as well as recited chants to prevent the DOE from closing their schools. School Chancellor Kathy Black, who was also in attendance, was accompanied by several politicians and elected officials. They had a lot to say about the 12 schools that the DOE planned to shut down.
Jamaica High School isn't performing, but meanwhile you have 3 specialized high schools in the building. I took a tour of those. It's interesting. Their lowest class size is 14. They have smart boards, they have computers. Go to the regular school, the class size is 34.
The reality is that you knew that 571 and all of these schools were going to fail way back when, and you did nothing. 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 Nothing about it. Nothing. No services. No support. No additional teachers. No smaller classrooms. Nothing. And the fact that you take credit for money I put into 571 is a slap in the face to my constituents.
The majority of students and parents that showed up were low-income minorities. The Urban Youth Collaborative, who believes that closing struggling schools will not be the solution to creating more equitable and effective institutions, received recognition.
The Urban Youth Collaborative.
Many speakers challenged how much time the DOE actually put into reforming public schools.
Hundreds of thousands of students are not performing at grade level in reading and in math. The high school graduation rate in many schools is less than 50%. But now that you're here, I wanted you to succeed, because if you were successful, our children would be successful. But we're off to a terrible start. You're breaking my heart. We have a difficult situation that we're confronting here, because you have an opportunity to turn around failed policies.
I stand before you today to urge you, and I ask you to stop and listen. True listening means being responsive. Are you listening? Have you truly given yourself the opportunity to analyze whether or not closing the school is the best course of action in helping our students? When the Department of Education decides to close the school, the message is clear. This school can't be fixed, can't be helped, and there's no other option but to close it.
Councilman Charles Barron presented to the DOE a 2-year plan that teachers from PS 260 created. He also gave students from PS 114 great news by announcing that their school was off the list of school closings.
Whatever you're going to do for other schools, smaller class sizes, computers, smart boards, cultural relevant curriculum, a consistent curriculum, making sure we have an athletics program, a sports program, instead of turning our schools into test-taker buildings. After this, we should do what Tony Abella said. Let's go to every one of our schools, and if we have thousands of people there saying, we will not let you shut our school down. We're going to demand that our schools stay open, because the schools belong to the people. They don't belong to you.
Michael Mulgrew, the successor to the Teachers Union president, Randy Weingarten, claimed that the DOE did not follow proper procedures in their mission to close down schools.
There cannot be a legitimate process for anything unless there is a plan for schools to succeed first. The Department of Education does not even have a Department of Teaching and Learning, so I do not know how you can help any school to succeed. Every school, no matter what they are performing, should be getting support from the Department of Education. If you cannot do that, then we do not need a Department of Education. It is not. If you want to be the Department of Data, the Department of Legal Counsel, the Department of Accountability, you don't need to handle schools. Anybody else, go to private business, that's where you should be.
One of the speakers even mentioned how disorganized the DOE was at one of the school closing meetings held at Kennedy High School's campus. The meeting that day took place at 6:30 p.m. on a Friday night. She signaled that this was a major disrespect towards parents, teachers, and students. She also claimed that this attitude must change.
Although the DOE did, at the Senator's request, send representatives to a recent Parents Association meeting, the last week of hearings, including a joint hearing at the school on a Friday evening with no notice, despite the Senator's repeated requests for same, and Tuesday's 7-hour marathon, demonstrate that these hearings come too late to ensure meaningful public participation in the planning process. It's no secret that JFK is consistently underperforming
in recent years. Following a recent reorganization, many of the district's best students went to one of several smaller schools within the building, while the neediest students continued to enroll at JFK without the additional resources they needed to thrive. While graduation rates improved, this result was not uniform. As Deputy Chancellor Mark Sternberg stated at last week's public hearing, you can and must do better.
The 13 members of the school panel still remains at the meeting, even after SOS supporters marched out of the auditorium. After a majority of the people exited the building, most of the students remained resiliently in front of Brooklyn Tech until police cleared the area. As a final decision, the DOE approved the closure of 12 high schools. These schools included PS 260, Columbus High School, Kennedy High School, Jamaica High School, and Norman Thomas High School in Manhattan. This has been your NTV News Brief.